social media is amazing. It allows us to connect to each other, share ideas, keep up with the world, stay in touch with our friends and our family and our classmates, but it can be overwhelming. Some of you are probably tasked with managing social media for yourselves, for your department, for your company, for clients. There are lots of channels, there are lots of updates, there are lots of comments. There's a lot to keep up with. It can be overwhelming. How do you take control of it? How do you make sure that it doesn't overwhelm you? You may have to co-manage it with other people in your department or with clients or with vendors. That's a lot on your plate. Fortunately, there are websites and apps and tools that can help you with social media management. These are the absolutely essential social media tools. These are ones I've used over the years. They're fairly easy to use, but they can help you tame the beast of social media for your clients, for your company, for your brands, make your lives easier. So I want to share a few of those with you today. As you heard, my name is Kwon. I'm a communication consultant here in Birmingham. I'm founder of the Y'all Connect conference. It's my pleasure to be back at AdFed. It's been a few years since I've had a chance to speak to this group, but I'm fortunate that I've been able to come to some of the events recently, and so it's great to be here in this new venue and to talk to all of you over lunch. If you have questions, just throw them out there, just raise your hand, don't wait till the end. I'll be happy to take them throughout the presentation. Because you may come up with different things you want to ask about as we go along. And my Twitter name is @WadeOnTweets. It's up there on the screen. If you want to share any of this presentation on Twitter or Facebook or Pokemon Go, you're welcome to do so. At the end, I'll have the slides and the video and the worksheet and other stuff to share with you, so stick around. I'll also have a door prize. I may not have any Pokemon up here, but if you stick around to the end, I'll have some nice door prizes for you. You might have some postcards from Y'all Connect in front of you. Feel free to take one of those. We'll talk about those at the end. So there are lots of apps out there, but we're going to talk about three categories to help you with your social media. The first are apps that help you schedule social media. You may have a lot of updates that you want to share with your audience. Now, I know not everyone agrees that social media should be done in advance and not live, and we'll talk about that. But these are the apps that I've been using to schedule my social media. We'll talk about apps to help you shorten links. That's a pretty straightforward proposition, but there's so much more you can do with short links and with these apps, and so we'll dig a little deeper into that. And then we're going to talk about the metrics apps, digging into the numbers behind each of your social media channels. It's really important to study the impact that you're having on social media through your campaigns, through your engagements, through your videos, and so on. Not all of us pay attention to the numbers, and I'm going to encourage you to do so, but the starting point is, what apps do you use to dig into it? So the first category is apps to help you schedule social media. So I mentioned that it's a little controversial in terms of, do you want to schedule your social media in advance? Maybe it should be live, maybe it should be interactive, maybe scheduling it causes too many problems and missed opportunities. My counter argument is always that I can't spend every waking minute in front of a computer screen or a phone screen monitoring and updating social media. I leave that to the kids. They're welcome to do that all day long, but I've got clients to talk with, I've got phone calls to return, I've got things to write, I've got research to do, I've got dishes to wash, and chores to do. So for me, I want to schedule in advance. And I've been doing this for years, and it doesn't mean you ignore your audience. It just means that you get a leg up on making the best use of your time and sharing good information with your different social media audiences out there. So let's look deeper at some of these apps. The first is Buffer. If you go to buffer.com right now, you can try it out. It's free. There's also a paid pro level. You can download the app for iOS or Android. And essentially what you do is you sign up for a free account and you connect your one or more social media channels to it, and then you can schedule updates on it. And it goes out on a predetermined schedule. So if you sign up your company for Buffer and you set up a schedule like 9 a.m., noon, and 3 p.m. on weekdays, and then you go back to your office this afternoon and you start putting these scheduled updates in the Buffer. You may have some blog posts that are about to be published. You may have some photos to share. You may have event reminders. You may have some promotions going on. You may have some sales coming up. And you don't want to share them all Friday afternoon. You want to space it out over the course of a week. So if you put them into the queue in Buffer, first update goes out Monday at 9 a.m., then noon on then 3 p.m. on Monday, and then 9 a.m. Tuesday, and so on. So it's really straightforward to do. You can do it as you're browsing on the web. You can do it if you're on your phone. They make it really easy. At the paid level, you get more updates, you get more bells and whistles, you get more analytics, and so on. I've used it for years. It's extremely reliable. And with any of these tools that I talk about, we're only going to talk about a small handful, but try them out. See if it's a good fit for your business. See if it's a good fit for your team. If it doesn't work, discard it. Use something else. These are only the ones I'm familiar with just because I've used them over and over again. But everybody in here's got different goals, different needs, different work styles. So as I recommend these, I do encourage you to try them out, but definitely stick with the ones that work the best for you. So the next is Hootsuite. I'm sure many of you are familiar with Hootsuite. It's one of the bigger apps out there. Just like Buffer, you can get to it on the web, hootsuite.com. You can download the app. It's free for iPhone and Android. There's a free level and a paid level, just like Buffer. And just like Buffer, you can schedule social media updates on one or more channels. So what is different about this tool? For starters, you can do social media monitoring and listening. You can get to know your audiences by studying what they're doing on social media. So you see on screen that there are different columns. Like the left column might be scheduled Twitter updates, and then scheduled LinkedIn updates, and the next column could be like scheduled Facebook page updates and so on. But I can also put up columns related to those social media channels, such as on Twitter. I could have a column related to my Twitter timeline. So I could see what all of my friends are tweeting. And I could have another column of my @replies and mentions. So if people are talking to me on Twitter, I can just have a column devoted to that. And then another column to direct messages, this private messages between 2 or more Twitter users. And another column to Twitter lists, and another column to search terms and hashtags and so on. I could have another column for a Facebook page. So I can see every time I or someone else posts updates on that Facebook page, I can see that in real time. But I can also see when people comment or like or share those updates in that column. So beyond just scheduling social media, you have the opportunity to monitor and listen on your social media channels, and you can directly engage those people in real time. In other words, if you see someone @reply to you on Twitter, or if you see someone comment on Facebook or ask a question, you don't have to open up a new tab, log into Facebook, scroll down the page, find the exact comment, and then reply to it. You can do it within Hootsuite. Same with Twitter, same with LinkedIn, and so on. That's a huge time saver in engaging your audience.
Wade, are all those things available in the free version, or do you use the pro version to do some of those things?
Okay, that's a good question. So Mike asked, in Hootsuite, those features that I just talked about in terms of monitoring it, in terms of scheduling it, is that in the free version or the paid version? It's in the free version. Everything I talk about in this first part, absolutely free, which means you can sign up right now, as I have done, and use the free version for as long as you want. So besides scheduling social media, besides monitoring it and listening to it, you can also bring in other team members. So if your department's in charge of monitoring and using Facebook pages for your brand or for a client, you can co-manage it with other people, and they can be seeing next to you, they can be in another building, they can be in another city, they can be in another time zone. It allows you to cross-manage these platforms as people are coming on and off shift, if other people in your department have different specialties, if there are different ways that you want to handle social media. This means that everybody can open the same app and see what's going on in real time with these social media channels and interact with it. You can delegate so that the person next to you responds because they know more about that topic area. So here's an enterprise level system. Now that's at the pro level, but here's an enterprise level system where if you have to manage a lot of social media or you have a lot of people managing it with you, here's one window that can take care of all of it. So at the free level, you can schedule social media, you can connect to multiple social media channels, you can monitor, you can engage people in real time. At the pro level, you can bring in team members and co-manage platforms. And there are other differences between the free and the paid level, but that's a lot of service just at the free level, just for setting up an account and plugging in your channels to it. So again, there's Buffer, there's Hootsuite, these are things you can try out. The last one is Social. Now I said that you probably have heard of Hootsuite because it's widely known. You may not have heard of Social Loans, but it's a favorite. You go to socialloans.com and you can try it out for free. There is no app, so if you want to try it on your phone or tablet, just open up your browser and go to socialloans.com. There's free level and a paid level. Free level, you can connect your Twitter account and you can schedule updates. You can schedule them for tomorrow, you can schedule them for next week or next year. And so the way I've used it is I've got hundreds of Twitter updates set up in Social Loans. We've got daily blog tips and haiku and links to evergreen content and products and services that I offer, and they're all set to go. So if I fall off the face of the earth tomorrow, this thing's going to keep tweeting for me for months to come. I got it covered. But beyond the free level, there's a paid level where you can add more social media accounts, you get more metrics, you get more features. There's one great feature about Social Loans that I always like to put out there, and it's on the free version. If you're a Twitter power user, this I think is for you. In Twitter, at any time you can search any term you want to, and you get a real-time snapshot of that term. So you can search your company's name, you can search your own Twitter name, you can search news events, and sports events, and entertainment events, and see how people are reacting in real time. And you see their tweets, and their links, and their photos, and their videos, and news coverage, and so on. You can search trending topics, you can search hashtags, you can monitor event coverage, and so on. That's great if you want that one-time, real-time snapshot. But if you want to run that search again Monday, you got to go back into Twitter and type in that search again. And if you have multiple search terms, you got to run each one of those searches individually. And then the same thing Tuesday and Wednesday. And so Social Oomph takes all those searches and saves them. And it compiles a digest. And it emails that digest to you once a day. Which means that once a day, for free, I get this complete list of tweets that mention my company name, links to my site, my name, so it's great for brand reputation management. I can search hashtags, I can search terms that are important to me, I can do competitor research, so I can put in the names of competing companies and their Twitter accounts. And this is some heavy-duty market research. And I can scan it the moment it comes into my inbox. I can wait till the end of the day and scan through it. I can save them all to the end of the week. But they're always in my email, so I can always get back to them. And in that digest, I can go through and find the individual tweets. So if someone asks me a question and I somehow missed it on Twitter, I can just go straight to that tweet and reply to that person, or I can thank them for sharing one of my blog posts or one of my seminars on Twitter. That's great market research of what's going on in Twitter, and it costs you $0 for your Social Oomph account. It costs you $0 to set it up. Just takes you a few minutes to get all this going, and then forever and ever, it'll keep emailing that digest to your inbox. And if you ever want to change change the search terms, you just log into social and add or subtract the searches that you want to do. But again, I encourage you to try it out, set it up, and see if it meets your needs. But there's a lot of great market research buried in there.
Question, if your primary platforms are Facebook and Twitter, what is the advantage of using these over using the built-in schedule and metrics that are already in the social media side?
Okay, so question is, if you're using Facebook and Twitter primarily for your company, Facebook has built-in scheduling for your updates. They also have built-in metrics. Is there an advantage to using one of these tools versus built-in stuff? So Twitter, as far as I know, doesn't have any built-in scheduling, so you're wholly dependent on an app.
Actually, you can link Facebook to Twitter.
Yeah.
Which is what we do, so our Facebook feeds automatically go to Twitter.
Gotcha.
So if you program Facebook, it will automatically program Twitter.
Gotcha. So if you've got linked accounts, you can schedule through Facebook, and then it'll go out to both. And of course, if you don't have a Facebook page, or if they don't have them connected, you either have to connect them up, or you have to find another solution to schedule. So one advantage is you can use these tools and schedule out to these accounts separately. So if your Facebook audience is different from your Twitter audience, you can share things that are appropriate to each audience. One of my pet peeves is when I see brands and individuals obviously sharing from Facebook and feeding their Twitter feed, and it cuts off in the middle of it. And you don't know what the rest of it was going to be because they hit their 140 character limit, and it just cuts off in the middle of it.
As an educational institution, we have to do it because we decided long ago we didn't want to use text speak. We want to use complete sentences.
Sure. So the metrics part, we'll talk about that in the next section. So we'll get to that part of the question. I've used the Facebook scheduling, and I don't like it as much as some of these apps, and the only reason is because I schedule so many things far in advance. Like sometimes I'll schedule the night before, sometimes I'll schedule 3 months, 12 months out. And so it's just easier in terms of interface to get through some of these apps than it is to schedule one at a time in Facebook over and over again. At the paid level in some of these apps, you can upload like a spreadsheet or something, and then you're done. Like, because the first column of the spreadsheet will be like the time of the day, and the second part will be the update, and you'll bulk schedule all of those updates. So I think there are some advantages, but again, try it out and see if it works any better for you than scheduling them natively through Facebook. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Okay. So you've got Buffer, you've got Hootsuite, you've got Social. There are lots of scheduling apps out there. Try these. Let me know what you think of them. See if they're a good fit for what you're trying to do. The second part is talking about apps that shorten links. These link shorteners are very handy, but they seem to be limited in function. But short links are the currency of social media. The reason why we shorten links is because some URLs can be 100 characters long, maybe 200 characters long. It can take up a lot of real estate. And a link shortener, it just basically compacts it down to 15 or 20 characters. And that's important. If you're sharing things, and most people are consuming them on mobile devices, and the screen's only this big, you need some of that real estate back for a teaser copy or a photo or something else to explain what that link's all about. So, this is something I use multiple times a day. They seem to be all created equally, but I want to point out some differences in these link shorteners and how you can better use them for your companies and for your clients. First one's Bitly, and of all the apps that I'm sharing with you today, this is far and away my favorite. I've used this tool for years. Like the other apps, there's free level and paid level. You can go to bit.ly on your browser. You can try it out right now. You can download the free app for iOS or Android. You don't even need an account. You go to Bitly right now and you get that screen, you paste in a long link, you hit the shorten button, and you get that short URL. bit.ly/123ABC, some random string of letters and numbers. So what makes Bitly special? If you sign up for a free account, when you shorten a link, you can customize the keyword at the end of it. So instead of bit.ly/123ABC, you can change it into something else. You can extend your brand. instance, if we were promoting today's event, we could do bit.ly/adfedway. And so there's the AdFed name right in the link. It's easy to remember. It's easy to share with people. You can share it in Twitter or Facebook. You can remember it. You can write it down. And it tells you a little bit about what the event is. And then, take you to the registration page so you could sign up, get tickets, and so on. If you sign up for a free Bitly account, not only can you customize the keyword, you can also change the URL. If you ever see short links from like the New York Times or the Huffington Post or the Wall Street Journal, you see that they use these branded short links. You see nytimes.com in their short link that takes them to a much longer URL. All of the links that I share from my sites are branded with its way, itswa.de, which means that every time you see that short link, whether I share it or someone else shares it, it's something that I wrote or filmed or created or promoted or something. So I get a lot of branding power just from that short link. I have the same branding power as some of the biggest brands out there. It cost me $8 to renew that domain name this year. It cost me $0 for the Bitly account. And a few years ago, it took me about 5 minutes to get the two connected. So if you go to your office this afternoon and use your current URL or a shorter version of it, and spend about 10 minutes getting this connected, you're done. You can, after every link you shorten after that will be branded with your short link URL. If you sign up for a free Bitly account, not only can you customize the keyword, not only can you change the base URL, you can also customize the keyword at the end of that customized URL. So if I wanted to share the slides from today's presentation, I could create a Bitly link, or I can share it at itsway/adfedslides. That's extremely easy to remember. It's branded with my name. It tells you what event it is. It tells you where you're getting at. It'd probably take you to like the SlideShare page where you could look at the slides and you could share that short link with your colleagues, you could download the slides and so on. So not only am I extending my brand, I'm also making it easy for you to share and to remember. And I can customize it based on campaign, I can customize it based on client, I can customize it based on blog post style, and so on. That's a lot of branding power at your fingertips for a few dollars and a few minutes investment in getting this all set up. So you can shorten links through Bitly. You don't need an account. You can start doing it right now. If you sign up for the free account, you can start to customize these URLs that you're going to share with your audiences. Beyond all of that, each Bitly link has statistics behind it. So every link tracks how many times it was clicked on, who clicked on it, where did they come from, and so on. And there's full access to it by adding the plus sign. So on screen you see there's a sample Bitly link, bit.ly/1UENXX6. And if you click on it, I think it'll take you to like an article on the Tuscaloosa News site. If you type that into your browser and you add a plus sign, you get the statistics behind that link. So you find out how many times it was clicked on, when it was clicked on, what countries did the people come from, what referring channels brought them there, and so on. So you get all of this data for every link that you're sharing through Bitly. There's a lot of transparency in this, in that every link that I create in Bitly, you can see all the statistics behind it. Every link you create, everyone in this room can see, including your competitors. Every Bitly link that your competitors create, you can go see the statistics behind those. If you create these short links in Bitly over time and monitor the stats behind each one, you start to build a picture of what your audience cares about, where they're coming from, what they're clicking on. In other words, what excites your audience and what pushes them away. So you've got a chance to start to measure audience behavior based on these statistics. Again, you don't have to have a Bitly account to do all of this. You just go to Bitly and start creating links. Or if you find Bitly links online, you can start looking at the statistics behind them. It's really interesting, at least it is to a numbers guy like me. So Bitly is the first link shortener tool. Second one's Owly. You go to owl.ly right now, you can start shortening links. You don't need an account. Owly is affiliated with Hootsuite. So those of Hootsuite account, you get to see the statistics behind your outlet links. But I put this out there simply because Hootsuite is so popular, I wanted to show off the link shortener behind it. We got Bitly, we've got Owly for Hootsuite. We can't not talk about Google, since Google is master of everything on the internet. So of course Google has its own link shortener. You go to goo.gl and you get that screen. You don't need a Google account. You can start shortening links right away, just like the other two. But there are a couple of extra features built into Google shortening link shortener. How many of you use QR codes? Whopping one of you. How many of you know what QR codes are? Okay. If you don't know, they're just fancy barcodes. Barcodes at the supermarket, they tell the computer what product's being scanned, so it knows what price to charge. QR code, it can encode text, it can encode a URL, it can encode an email address, but your phone or your tablet can scan that and it'll automatically take them to that website. If you use Google Short Links, you can build QR codes automatically by adding .qr at the end of it. When you do that, it'll put the QR code on your screen and you can download it and you can use it in your print material, you can use it on your business cards, you can use it on the side of a bus or a billboard, you can use it in a TV commercial, you can use it in social media campaigns, and so on. Like that link on screen, Google/CNIQ39, I forgot where it takes you, but if you add .qr, it generates a QR code. If you scan that QR code right now, it'll take you somewhere, whatever that short link goes. But just like any short link, you're only limited by your imagination in terms of how you use the QR code. So if you're tracking different campaigns, or if you've got different audiences, or you just want to split test something, QR codes are a different way that you can get that out to your audience. Of course, it depends on if they have their phones available, it depends on if they're able to scan those QR codes. But that's a shortcut to building them if you need it. The other thing about Google Short Links, they also have built-in statistics. In Bitly, you add the plus sign to the Bitly link. In Google, you add .info to it, and you get this set of statistics for each Google link. So there's an example, Google/BNFJUW. You add .info, and you get the statistics screen. Shows you how many people clicked on it, when they clicked on it, referring channels, browsers, platforms, the countries they came from, and so on. There's a lot of great demographic and behavioral data. And again, if you start to shorten all of your links through Google, you can compile it, you can track it, you can start to understand your audience better. So you've got Bitly, you've got Owly, you've got Google. Again, there are lots of link shorteners out there. These are just the three that I'm most familiar with. Bitly, far and away, is the one I use the most. But try them out and see which ones meet your needs. Last category of apps is metrics. I said earlier that it's important to dig into numbers. A while back, I used to work at Southern Living magazine as an editor. So besides editing and writing stories, I'd run some special projects. And one of the special projects was a reader survey, annual reader survey. And this was old hat to me because I'd done reader surveys at newspapers I'd worked at before, and they're pretty easy to manage. But a lot of people consider them a pain because there's a lot of paperwork behind it. And Southern Living's reader survey, by the time I got there, it'd been running for 10 or 11 years, so it was running fine. It originally appeared in the magazine and print, and they'd mail them in or fax them in, and then it eventually migrated to the web, and you could fill out these online ballots. So, basic thing is you just want to see what the winners are in each category and run them in the magazine, and give away something to encourage people to put in their submission. But there was so much more data hiding in. This was kind of right before the explosion of social media. So we might have been promoting it on our website and in the magazine, but we didn't necessarily have a lot of other channels to promote this thing in. So as I studied all this data, I wanted to know more than just what their top 3 picks in each category were. I wanted to know where they were coming from, but I wanted to know what their choices are by geography, by zip code, and by age, and by gender, and so on. And so as I dug deeper into the numbers, I not only understood like what the winners and the runners-up and what was trending up and what was trending down, I also started to get a better picture of who these readers were, why they participated, and what we could do to make the experience better for them. And so in the first year that I ran it, I think we went from 33,000 entries to something like 47,000. I mean, we had a huge leap from year to year. And part of it is because we started to embrace why are people participating in this and what motivates them to do it and what can we do to make that experience better. That's the reason why I want you to dig deeper into the numbers behind your social media campaigns, because hiding in those numbers are good ways to get to know your audience, to serve them better, and to do a better job of helping your clients and everyone along the way. So here are a couple of apps that will help you dig deeper into the numbers. Some are native to the social media channels, others are third-party apps. And now we're coming back to what's better, using the statistics natively within the social media channels or these third-party apps. So I'll go through some of the differences. Facebook, it's really straightforward. If you manage a Facebook page, you may have seen these before. You go to facebook.com/name of your page/insights, and it'll take you to your analytics screen. If you're logged in and you're on your Facebook page, you can just click on the Insights tab at the top, and it'll take you to this page. But you'll see the reach, the number of likes, how people are interacting with your page, how your top posts are doing. You know, do they tend to fall into videos or photos or updates? So there's a chance to start to understand your Facebook audience. Now the reality is, as Facebook keeps changing their algorithm and shifting it away from brands and towards what friends and family are sharing, this data becomes less valuable. And it's because even the biggest brands out there are struggling to reach their Facebook audiences through organic updates. So at some point you really have to decide, do I want to pay for boosted posts and for Facebook ad campaigns? Because if you really want to reach an audience, that may be the only way to do it from this point forward. And it's by design that Facebook has set it up this way. But before you spend money on campaigns, at least look at what's been happening on your page to at least get a sense as to why your audience is engaged or not engaged based on posts and shares to date. This is at least a starting point so that as you create campaigns for yourselves or for your clients, you understand your audiences better. Twitter also has native analytics. You go to analytics.twitter.com/user/name of your Twitter account. I'll take you to the analytics page. This is free, same as the Facebook page, analytics. If you're logged into Twitter, you go click on your icon in the upper right, and on the drop-down menu, hit analytics. It'll also take you to this page. So you see your top tweets, you see your reach, you see how many times people visit your profile page, you see who your top followers are, and so on. It used to be that Facebook and Twitter kept all these numbers locked up, that only they could see them, or like if you were on Twitter, if you were spending like $10,000 a month on Twitter advertising, then you could see your analytics. But now, everybody has access to it. Even if you've been on Twitter for a day, you have access to your analytics. So same as Facebook, I encourage you to look at the numbers because, at least with Twitter, you have a fighting chance to reach your audience, even without paid campaigns. So if you continue to engage them organically, you can see what's working and what's not working, and a little bit more about your audience's demographics and behavior. And if you decide to spend money on Twitter, then you have a starting point for your campaigns. But both Facebook and Twitter at least give you some information to help you understand your audiences better, and so that, of course, you'll continue to use their channels to reach fans and customers. So these two are native to their channels. We're going to go back to Bitly for a moment because it's a third-party app that also measures statistics. We already saw that because if you take every individual Bitly link and add a plus sign, you see the statistics behind cumulatively measure your impact on social media. So if you want to measure how your content is doing over time, Bitly will show you those numbers. Its interface has changed recently, and I do have the new interface up there. But basically what you're seeing is the impact you're having, this week, today, last month, and so on. So you can see how your timing's doing, and if your content, if this topic is doing better than this topic is doing better than this topic. And this is at the free level. So even if you don't get a pro account, you can still see all of your statistics in Bitly. We're also revisiting Hootsuite, another third-party app, because it too measures your impact on social media. At the free level, you get a couple of reports, and they're pretty basic. And the reports are by individual channel. So for instance, on the screen you see like Facebook page report. At the paid level, you get a lot more reports. You can customize them a lot more. And I think you have more access to things like being able to save them and schedule them. So if you have this report that you need to run every Monday, it'll automatically do it for you and then notify you. It'll allow you to download a PDF. It'll allow you to share those reports with people on your team or even people who are not part of your Hootsuite team. So if they need to monitor your conversion rate or your click rate or so on, you can generate those reports. So Hootsuite has these analytics tools, and you can see the impact of your content by channel. So in Bitly, you're monitoring it by topic and by time. Here you're seeing how your things are doing on your Facebook page versus your LinkedIn page versus your Twitter account or multiple Twitter accounts. So Hootsuite has a more robust analytics set of tools, but that's because it's built into enterprise level. So if you manage a lot of clients or you have a lot of numbers that you need to crunch, this might be the appropriate tool for you. So between Facebook and Twitter natively and between Bitly and Hootsuite, that's at least a jumping off point for the numbers you may want to study for your social media reach and engagement. If you have questions and you don't think of them today, email me at wade@wadekwon.com, wadekwon.com. You can find me on my site at birminghamvlogging.com. And you can tweet me your questions at wadeontweet. As you start to try out some of these tools, you might run into some technical issues, or you may just have some questions about how they work. Feel free to shoot me a question. I'm happy to answer any questions about any platform, including ones that we didn't talk about today. So, a lot of tools at your disposal in terms of conquering social media. I mean, there's so many options and they're rapidly expanding and the landscape's always changing. But you've got tools to shorten links, you've got tools to measure the numbers, you've got tools to schedule social media updates. But don't forget the two most important tools in social media, your heart and your mind. Your mind allows you to solve problems, to be creative, and to reach people in different ways over these different social media channels and to adapt to all these different things going on around you in social media. Your heart reminds you that there's a real human being on the other end of that screen, and they need your help, and they need your empathy, and they need your kindness, so respond in kind. The best thing about those two tools, they're free, they're always on you. The more you use them, the better they become. But as you work on your social media, on behalf of your companies, on behalf of your brands, on behalf of your clients, and you try out these tools, keep in mind that you want to build your audience, you want to improve their experience, you want to make it a better place for all of us.